read 6 books this week and 2 of them were 5-star reads, so let's go through my wrap up. Of course we have to start with the 5-star reads, and I think that this new Lisa Jewell book, Don't Let Him In, is actually her best book yet. I could honestly talk for 2 hours about this book, and I have a podcast episode that does just that, so check that out if you're interested in my longer thoughts. But basically this book follows this man who is not who he says he is. He weasels his way into women's hearts and into their homes just to like leave them high and dry, and it is the most shocking and addicting book you will ever read. My other 5-star read for the week was The Measure. I love this one. This one is a super unique concept where everybody in the world who's about the age of, I think, 21 gets this box on their doorstep that has a string with a certain length to it, and that length correlates to how long you are going to live. I love the amount of depth that the characters had in this. You followed a bunch of different people with different walks of life, and it broke my heart at times, but just was an absolutely phenomenal book. Next up I read Julie Tan is Dead, and this one was one of the most unhinged and absolute blast of a thrillers I've read in a long time. This one follows a woman who discovers her twin sister dead in her apartment, and this is somebody she is estranged with. She doesn't really know her, and she decides that instead of reporting her sister as dead, she reports herself as dead and steps into her sister's life because her sister is a famous influencer and she works at a grocery store and has always been like jealous of her sister's life. That's all fun and games until she realizes that her sister's death might not have been an accident, and now the person that came after her sister might be after her. Seriously so unhinged. Had a blast reading this. If you like unhinged type of thrillers, read this one. Next up I read Pride or Die, which was a really fun queer YA mystery book. It follows this LGBTQIA+ club that is meeting at the school, and while they're meeting there is a like crime that happens at the school, and they're the ones who stumble upon it and are trying to help this girl who was attacked, but as they're helping, they're the ones covered in blood, and the people who find them are then suspecting them of the crime. Now the girl lives, but it was like an unaliving attempt, so fingers are pointing at them. They're trying to save their club and figure out who actually did this because they don't want their club to take the blame, and therefore the school won't have like a safe place for queer students in the future. I really love this one. It was reminiscent of like A Good Girl's Guide to Unaliving, if you've read that book. And I read this book, which I don't have my copy of still, but it's called We Are Watching by Allison Galen, and she is becoming a favorite thriller author of mine. I've read her book The Collective and this one. I need to check out if she has any other books because I'm obsessed with both of these. Both of her thrillers are so unique and thought-provoking. This one follows a single mother who's desperate to protect herself and her daughter, and there's this group of like conspiracy theorists that are out to get them. This is all following her and her family having been run off the road. Her husband died, and she's realizing after the fact that this is not an accident. The people who did that did it on purpose, and it was a targeted attack at her family. And the last book that I read was The Prince Without Sorrow, and this is a fun fantasy book. I'd never read anything by this author, but I did enjoy this one. This one follows a prince who does not like his father's ruling at all. His father unexpectedly dies. He's been always longing for peace, so now he finally has a position that he can try to push for that. Our other storyline follows a witch who is seeking revenge for her aunt after witnessing her death, and these two storylines do converge in a really fun way. Alright, and those were the 6 books I read this week. I really did enjoy all of them. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you read any of these, and at the very least, you have to read The Measure and Lisa Jewell's new book. They are absolute must-reads.